Class, your attention, please.
Your teacher has a rule. School is cool.
Attention, everybody. Quiet down here. Class is back in session. Welcome to the second semester of the Classic Match Classroom. I am the Professor Tyler Wolf, and coming back again for the second semester is my almost straight A student, the Professor, Mr. Anthony Cerulli. Of course, you do not get the straight A's because you did not like Hell in the Cell. I'm sorry. But you did very well last semester, so it's good to be back in the classroom with you, buddy.
Yeah, I had to enroll for another semester. We'll see how it goes. I don't know, that shaky rating on the Hell in a Cell got me a little bit, but I thought, I'll sign up for another semester. So I'm glad to be back. I'm so happy that we're here for semester number 2. Who knows how many more semesters there will be, but we're starting off with a bang on this episode, so I'm looking forward to it.
Did you say we're starting off with a bang, or
Aha!
a Bengals? Because my beloved
there you
Cincinnati Bengals have finally won a playoff game. I had to get it in there, but we'll go back with starting off with a bang. I think that's a little more topical and relevant, right?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, we're recording this on Monday. Who even knows what's going to go on with the Bengals? But for now, we'll start off with a little bang.
Alrighty. Well, we had to come back strong. It is Royal Rumble season. One of the greatest performers in the first semester of the Classic Match Classroom was, of course, Mick Foley, Cactus Jack, Mankind Dude Love, whatever you want to call him. So I figure to bring us back strong and being Royal Rumble season, I want to take a look at one of the most famous builds and probably one of my personal favorite WWF title matches of all time. And we're going back to the year 2000 at the Royal Rumble, Cactus Jack versus Triple H in a street fight. Anthony, what exactly did you know about this feud/match leading up to this episode of the Classic Match Classroom?
So I knew that the match happened, of course, because that's usually the trend is that I'll know that the match happens, but I don't know the build up to it. And when I tell you that after watching this, that I had no idea of any of this build. Usually I'll be able to say I know one segment or another segment, but and even after watching, I'll be able to say, oh, I did know that. I just didn't know that it was in this feud. After watching this, had no idea anything happened. So I was really excited for this one. I knew that, it was Cactus and Triple H. Stephanie was involved, but I didn't know that we were going to get so much of Dwayne Johnson himself.
Mm-hmm.
The Rock is very much in this feud, and for very good reason. But I knew that this was going to be a fun one, and I was really looking forward to some Royal Rumble street fight action.
Yeah, there's a lot that we can get into and that I would like to get into during this episode. I think I'm ready to get into it. Are you ready, sir?
Ring the bell, because class is finally in session.
I missed hearing that.
I missed saying it.
So let's paint a little picture here then. Let's begin our lesson here. We're going to go back to December of 1999. Triple H and Stephanie McMahon are brand new together on screen. Stephanie, have you seen any of the Triple H Stephanie wedding before?
I've seen a little bit of it, and I know that it was just prime attitude era.
Now that's where I should have started the lesson here, because there's that iconic moment where Stephanie is getting ready to marry Tess, and then Triple H interferes in the wedding after Vince said that if anybody who's not family gets involved in this wedding, they will be fired immediately. You get the famous clip of the drive-through where Triple H, yes, I will marry you. One of the rare funny things I think Triple H did.
Yeah.
And then he had that very iconic moment where he looks at Vince and goes, well, Dad, it's not if we, but how many times did we consummate the marriage? So that led to Vince and Triple H fighting at Armageddon of the December 99, where Stephanie McMahon made a shocking heel turn and aligned herself with Triple H. So that's where our lesson's going to begin now. It is the official announcement and the beginning of the McMahon-Helmsley era.
I know better than anybody what you want more out of life than anything else is to get the World Wrestling Federation title. Well, Rock, tonight you get your chance because you and the Big Show are going to go one-on-one for the World Wrestling Federation title. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight marks the dawning of a new era in the World Wrestling Federation.
The McMahon-Helmsley era.
The McMahon-Helmsley era. You sent me a message when you were watching this, and you said, "Damn you for making me watch all these Triple H promos." Let me take you back to what it's like to be in the year 2000, where every episode of Monday Night Raw starts with a 45-minute promo, no matter who it is, mostly Triple H here.
So nothing's changed, I guess.
Basically,
now
nothing's
it's
changed.
only 20 minutes for a Triple H promo. But
what did you think about this alignment, and what did you think about a very young Stephanie McMahon, who's very new to TV at this time?
Yeah, I mean, I really liked the start of this feud just because it sets the pace really well. You know, Helmsley McMahon era, they're kind of laying down the line, but in a way they're kind of manipulating in a way that's saying, okay, we'll be fair. You know, we'll draw the line, but we'll be fair. And that's, you know, giving Rock a world title match that same night. You even get Mankind versus, I believe it's Al Snow. So you could see from the jump that you get a lot of, guys that Triple H would normally be rivaling with. But in this case, he's kind of being fair to them. Will that be the case going forward? Who knows? Spoiler, it's not going to be. But I thought this was really good. And it's good to see Stephanie, you know, at a younger age here. You know, I joked with you in saying that just like times really never change when it comes to Triple H and Stephanie. It feels like they're always on TV doing this type of promo. But it was cool to see this kind of unique twist on Triple H and Stephanie, as unique as it is just to see them at a younger age. But, you know, definitely didn't change as far as the Authority is concerned.
I think watching Stephanie, and especially here, and then how she evolved over the years with her on-screen character, you can really tell that she looks up to her father. You know what I mean? She's very over the top and dramatic like Vince is. But I think she does a great job, though. I really, you know, I know a lot of people are annoyed by Stephanie McMahon. And there are times where I'm like, okay, Stephanie, like you don't need to take credit for being the face of the women's division. You don't need to. But as far as a performer goes, I'm always a fan of Stephanie McMahon. I think she hits a lot of home runs. You know, her promos, controversial as they may be, I'll use the Daniel Bryan one as an example, the B+ player. Okay, the message was bad, but her delivery is always really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially, you know, at a younger age, like I said, to see kind of like a twist on it. You know, Stephanie nowadays is very professional. You really never see her in a losing situation, especially like during that period of the Authority. Now, you know, you see her, you know, getting insults by The Rock and Jericho. Well, not Jericho here, but, you know, from all the different wrestlers. And, you know, it's cool to see this different side of Stephanie and to see her grow into what she is now. It's pretty interesting.
Absolutely. And that takes us into our next point here. We've got a little segment with DX and Mick Foley here, or Mankind, as you will. I thought Mankind cut a really fun promo here. He's trying to stir up dissension and Degeneration X. You know, oh, Triple H is just using you, and once he gets the title, he'll never talk to you again, and all that stuff. He had a great line with Stephanie McMahon where he's like, oh, the Godfather's looking for his hose. You better get back there, which got a big one. That line caused DX to attack him. Then you get The Rock out to make the save. And now it's time for Triple H to start flexing his power a little bit. We're getting a pink slip on a pole match, bro, Vince Russo style, coming here, your boy. Basically, Mankind versus The Rock. The loser is going to be fired. And I think I don't do the words as justice, so maybe we'll let Triple H tell you all about it.
Let's hear it.
One of you is gone tonight for good.
You mean fired? Stephanie just said fired.
So guys, as always, DX has the last laugh. And oh yeah, we've got 2 words for one of you.
You're fired!
The best part of that clip is that just at the very end there, after they say you're fired, you just hear Jerry Lawler go, "Wah!"
You get a lot of Jerry Lawler audible sounds in this feud.
Yeah, and I'm glad actually that we've got Jerry Lawler here, because I think a lot of people, and especially in the modern era, Jerry Lawler just hasn't been fantastic on commentary anymore. I think he just kind of phones it in, has fun. He was really good during this whole build. And to me, Jim Ross, I think, was really fantastic in this segment as well.
Oh, absolutely. We're seeing prime JR and Jerry here, which is definitely different from what we've been seeing in the first semester, because, you would get JR, Jerry, and Vince. But now this is JR and Jerry, that we know them to be in the Attitude Era, very over the top. As far as the segment is concerned, I like Mick Foley a lot, as I've shown to be in this show, because of his realness. He just has a way about himself that presents himself as very natural on the mic. Even the callbacks to how DX was supporting Mankind when he won the title, very much close to a year ago from that time. So I love the callbacks to that. I actually had the first question to the professor of the second semester.
Okay.
So I know that Mankind, we saw him a lot during the Undertaker-Kane feud. He was still wearing the mask, and even during a lot of the Attitude Era, late Attitude Era, when he's, the Rock and Sock Connection, and even in this feud, he's wearing the mask a lot. But there are times where he's just not wearing the mask, but still being called Mankind.
Yeah.
Was this the point where they kind of just blurred the lines, where we all know that it's Mick Foley, so it doesn't really matter if he wears the mask?
Pretty much. The Mankind character had evolved a lot by this point. He had gone from being the deranged one to the funny joke guy to now he was just kind of, this is Mick Foley. Like, they do a lot of backstage segments where he'd just have the mask on the top of his head. You know what I mean? So they just kind of were like, yes, we all know Mick Foley is Mankind. The direction that the Mankind character had gone to this point was, let's be real. Foley was out of shape at this point. Maybe not so much here because he was training, but during the last few months, especially like the October, November months, he was out of shape. He was hurting a lot, and he knew that his career was over. So he was just having fun. Yeah. And, he was in tag teams on screen with Al Snow, with The Rock. He did a feud with Val Venus over Mr. Rocco. Like, it wasn't like he was setting the world on fire here. So, yeah, they just kind of were more laid back and chilled with it.
And, even with Mick Foley being out of shape and, out of his prime or whatever, it's good that he was still able to present himself on the mic in a way that carries this feud, because holy shit, Triple H is god awful.
We're going to get there for sure. Absolutely.
We're going to get there, but I just want to say that, like, he just talks forever. Yeah. It becomes a trend. I had to cut down that sound clip just to a single line, because he says that single line about 50 million times throughout this one promo.
Yes.
I can't believe how just dragged on he is, but we'll get to more Triple H, much more Triple H. But for now, I think this is a good start. Mankind, The Rock pitting them up against each other. It's a really cool kind of way to show Triple H and Stephanie abusing their power. This is fun, and I was looking forward to this match, and I think we're just about ready to get into it.
Yeah, before we do, just one more point on your Mankind question as well. His book had just come out at this time as well, Have a Nice Day, so I think that was another reason why they were loosey-goosey with the mask.
Oh, I got you.
Pink slip on a pole, we are here. What did you think about this?
Pink slip on a pole match. So I actually messaged you, and I really had a lot of fun watching this match. It was quick. It was your typical Raw. I don't even know if this was the main event or not.
No, nope.
It was not.
Nope.
Typical Attitude Era booking, but I really thought this was fun. You had interference from Al Snow. That's actually a question that I wanted to ask you. Why is Al Snow helping him if these guys are in a feud? I get that.
I think I'm not 100% sure, so I'm just kind of going to wing it on this one, but I'm pretty sure that Triple H kind of was like, Al, we want Rock gone. You know what I mean? Or maybe I think Al was kind of like, Mick, I know we don't like each other, but like, you can't be fired. Like, you need to fight for your job. Like, it was something like that. And Mick didn't want his help there.
Okay, fair enough. And yeah, I like that Mankind kind of flipped the switch on him and got back at him.
Yeah, but what an asshole though. He does that. He doesn't take the win, and then The Rock turns around and hits him with a rock bottom. Like,
Oh yeah, well
that was a pure asshole move on The Rock.
No, that was so. And even Mick Foley takes a lot of offense in this match. As quick as it was, takes a gnarly back bump from the top rope.
Yeah,
Oh
that
my
finish.
god, didn't even hold back on that one. You could just tell around this time that the crowd is on fire the entire match, and rightfully so. Both of these guys are so over. I think a lot of them were really cheering for Rock. I didn't hear much Mankind kind of support from the crowd.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, like the crowd was on fire. I'm surprised that this wasn't the main event because I figured this is a high stakes match. I love the part where Rock wins and Mankind is getting back to his feet, and JR is like, how is he going to be able to tell his family, oh, Daddy's been fired? And Jerry Lawler goes, well, you did it yourself. Daddy's fired. Daddy's fired.
I had that in my notes as well. Mankind family's at home watching. Daddy's been fired. How do you explain that to two youngsters right after Christmas? I just thought Jim Ross was amazing again here. Absolutely.
Amazing stuff. I really like this match. I even like the little details of like DX watching in the back on the monitor, not at like an awkward angle that you'll see wrestlers watching TV on nowadays. Just little things like that. I thought this was a really fun segment.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, there were more segments. I couldn't find them all, but the reason why this is in the middle of the show too, there was a whole bunch of segments of Mick Foley backstage after walking around saying goodbye to everybody.
Oh, okay.
Production people, wrestlers, whatever. And then that's finally when we see the next clip here where Mankind's told to leave the building by the authority. No, sorry, not the authority. The McMahon-Helmsley era.
The McMahon-Helmsley era.
Same shit, different decade. Right?
Yeah, I know, right?
And basically they're just being assholes saying, Mick, get out. You're fired. Get out of here. And they shoo him right out of the building.
Yeah, and you can actually check out this clip by going into the playlist in our description, where you can find all the different segments within this Cactus Jack and Triple H feud.
Absolutely. And you do a fantastic job of putting that together.
Well, thank you so much.
And that's going to bring us to another fantastic job done by a guy named Jim Ross, as he has a sit-down interview with Mick Foley. This is really where you get to see two people in the, I know Mick Foley, Mankind, wasn't in his prime as far as in-ring goes, but I would dare to put anybody against he can go toe-to-toe with anybody on the microphone, and he can tell a story probably, I would say, in the top 5 of all time of professional wrestling when it comes to giving him a microphone. And then you have Jim Ross with him, who just knows how to steer it, right? Talking about the preparation for his family for this moment. They talk a lot about Mick Foley's family. I really liked in this how they put The Rock over as the future of the business.
Yes.
And how Mankind knows where his role in the company was, and that it's the right thing that The Rock wins instead of him. And then, of course, I think you have a nice little clip teed up here of a little tease of some unfinished business, maybe.
Absolutely.
And I think that their ability to write my final chapter is woefully inept, and I think that I'm the person who's going to decide how Mick Foley goes out, and I'll be damned if I'm going to take the sentence they handed down sitting down. And I'm composing myself out of respect for you and the crew and my family, but I'm not happy about it, and I will do something about it in some way, at some time. And that's about all I really want to say.
Sheesh.
Man, he's good, eh?
Yeah. I keep saying it, the king of flipping the switch. The whole promo, he's so calm, collected, smiling, just talking, and then just that last bit of the promo, just slowly but surely flips that switch and really just goes all out. It's so weird. Like, he seems like eerily calm about everything that's going on throughout that entire promo. Like you said, putting over The Rock, doing all this, even bringing up like the production crew backstage. And I thought this was such a real promo. It really gives that feel to it. And then, of course, he just starts bringing up that at a certain time, at a certain place, there'll be revenge. But overall, just really beautiful promo here. And JR is just the king of these sit down interviews. I love every sit down interview that he does. It's just gold.
And that's even to this day as well, because he's still really good at those in AEW as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, great stuff here.
Yeah, this was definitely one of the highlights for sure. This next moment, though, is something I kind of want to spend a little bit of time talking about here.
Yep.
We have this amazing segment with The Rock. Him and Triple H are going to have a little toe-to-toe here. Now, there's a lot that you can really take a look at here, and I'm going to dive a little bit deeper than just a promo setting up a 3-on-1 handicap match here. I want to take a look at kind of the state of the company at this time. So when The Rock comes out here, it's magical. You know what I mean? The crowd is on fire. The Rock just carries himself like this superstar. Now, if I'm Vince McMahon watching this in the back, I'm kind of breathing a little bit of sigh of relief right now, because it's a weird time in the company, because, 2 months earlier, you just lost Stone Cold Steve Austin. This is when he had to go get his neck surgery, right?
Right.
And that's your guy. That's your superstar. And now all of a sudden you're just, if you're sitting here watching The Rock do this, I think it kind of lets me know, you know what? We're going to be okay without Stone Cold for a year. We're going to be okay with The Rock and Triple H carrying the ship here, especially The Rock, though. I thought that Triple H, I didn't think he was great here, especially going toe-to-toe with The Rock. He just came across as lame.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say, is that why Triple H doesn't come off good here is because he's trying to match The Rock's energy, and he just comes off as cringe. It's just not good at all here.
Yes. Is this the I'm just trying to find in my notes here. Is this the one where The Rock has that weird jacket on, or is that the next promo?
That's the next promo.
Okay.
That is just awful.
That we'll get to that then.
Yeah.
But like I said, welcome to Classic Raw 2000. Every week a 15-minute Triple H segment. And this one, they're setting up a new main event here. It is going to be for a 3-on-1 handicap, You're Fired match, DX against The Rock.
Well, The Rock just wants to know exactly who it is you had in mind for his opponents.
I'll tell you, Rock.
It doesn't matter who you had in mind.
Oh! I can't believe that. Three on one, no kick. Yeah, it's gonna matter, all right. Yeah, no kidding.
I told you, if you screw with us, you got two choices. Tonight, Rock, you will experience both firsthand, because tonight, Rock, first, you will get your ass kicked again, and then you will get your ass fired.
Yeah.
So
The Rock.
that was the one with the grandma jacket and the comment, if you want to say what it was.
Yeah, so here's the thing, The Rock's out there and he's being a superstar. And before we get to the comment, I want to ask you, is this the first time that you've got to see full Rock, like a full segment with The Rock during this era?
No, I've seen a few full segments, full promos and everything. But this is the first time, obviously, in the classroom that he has been this version of The Rock throughout a full feud. So I was able to see a lot of The Rock here. And what I think is really interesting is that he's the master of catchphrases in a way that it doesn't come off as just repetitive. Everything he says is the same thing, even though every promo is pretty much the same thing. You have your different things that you say. You start off with your finally, The Rock is back, end with do you smell what The Rock is cooking? But even with that, he has just a way about himself that, connects with the crowd. He just has this energy, this pun intended, electricity about him. And he just makes it so that every promo isn't the same, when at the same time, it kind of is.
Yeah, and I miss catchphrases in wrestling. I love the sing-alongs, whether it's the New Age Outlaws, The Godfather, The Rock. When The Rock sits there and goes, "I'm gonna kick your Rudy," and the whole arena is like, "Rudy Boo, yes!" It's something that is just greatly missed, that interaction in wrestling today. Now everyone's just all about chants and the fans are about putting themselves over instead of investing in these characters.
Yep.
This Triple H line, though, you've got The Rock doing his thing, and then Triple H comes out and goes, "Hey, Rock, I passed some old lady in the back and she wants her jacket back." And it's just like crickets.
Like that's the first thing that you say up against The Rock. Like,
yeah, like
so bad.
Okay. This is going to be my controversial take. Let's get into Triple H now. Let's talk about this because no, let's do it after Have a Bad Day.
Because that'll prove your point even more.
Yeah, just play the. Do you have a clip here?
I do have a clip, sadly.
All right, just play the clip.
All right, kid. Just give it to me here. What kind of skills you got? What do you do?
Well, I can jump off of a cage onto a table.
Cage.
I can get hit in the head 37 times with a chair and not have any damage. I can get hit in the head with a chair 37 times and not have.
All right, hold on now. You're repeating yourself like a moron. Let me have you out here. It goes like this. Kid, I seen the act on TV.
Oh, well, good.
Quite frankly, you're horrible.
Now, is Mankind horrible or was the segment horrible?
Yeah, I think it was the segment. Triple H, the segment. Put everything together. How about that?
Okay. Before we start talking about this in deep details here, pop quiz. Pop quiz for you. Who played fake Mankind here?
Holy shit. You see, I was going to ask you that because I didn't think it was anyone from DX. I couldn't think of anyone who it could be. I am going to say, God, I don't even know. Al Snow?
It is not Al Snow. It is Midian.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, you see, I could see it now.
Yeah, Midian played the fake Mankind here. I thought he did a great job, by the way, as fake Mankind. He was very entertaining.
Yeah, he was fine.
Let's talk about the positive of this first.
Sure.
Huge pop, Howard Finkel.
Oh, yeah. There's no time.
Love Howard Finkel. That's Jay's gimmick. You better watch out. He might get you.
I know. Shout out to the Good Friends, Better Enemies podcast. Oh, my God. Great. Just him coming out. And then he just walks to the side of the entranceway after.
Yeah.
A1.
Jerry Lawler was also great here.
Yes.
Because this was done in 3 different segments, I believe, or 4 different segments. And Jerry Lawler compared these to the Star Wars trilogy.
It's under the Star Wars.
I thought was very funny. Part 1, the clip that you played, I could tolerate it.
Yeah. It was
Part
fine.
2 was so offensive.
Yeah.
Triple H is pretending to be an Asian person by the name of Dr. Hung Lo. Absolutely no crowd reaction as Triple H does his offensive karate moves. And then by the time part 3 comes, my notes just say, oh God, not part 3. When Finkel walks out, the crowd moans. Like, it's not good heat. It's like, oh, not another one.
Yeah.
This was terrible. These are the moments where I have problems with Triple H. You know, a lot of people go out there and say, oh, Triple H is one of the best of all time and top 5 and Mount Rushmore. Now, from an in-ring standpoint, I will never say a bad word about Triple H.
Yeah,
I think
sure.
he is one of the greatest to ever get inside the ring. So I don't want this to come across as Triple H bashing.
Totally.
But it's segments like this and segments like Katie Vick and going back and watching DX 97 and, you know, DX Vince Loves Cock era and all that stuff where I cannot put Triple H in the greatest of all time category. I just like his stuff doesn't hold up for me. His fart jokes aren't funny. He's offensive. It didn't age well enough for me to look at Triple H and be like, you're the GOAT. You're the GOAT. Like, he's not there for me, unfortunately.
You know, and it's weird because his silly stuff never nails. Everything that I've seen. I started watching wrestling in 2009, which was right in the middle of the DX reunion, you know, with the glow sticks and Hornswoggle and all that BS. And it was awful. Looking back on it, it was awful. But even looking at something like this in 97, that he's apparently 99 now that we're watching now. And apparently this was his best period where he was in DX and he was the top heel and everything. Watching something like this, it makes you really reconsider, like you said, like, is he really one of the best of all time? And sure, his in-ring work speaks for itself. And we're going to see that in the match later on. But when it comes to both his funny work and even his serious work of 20-minute, 40-minute promos, like, is he really the best when it comes to the promo? I couldn't tell you. And I think that knocks him down out of that GOAT conversation, like you're saying.
And again, we're not like, this isn't a Triple H bash session here,
Yeah.
because, you know, I'll even look at some highlights here. When he did the DX reunion with Shawn, those pre-match, you know, are you ready?
Oh, those were
I said,
fun.
like, those are amazing. And that's like, that just like, that's what infuriates me though, because I see him do that stuff and it's so good. And then I see him do Katie Vick, and I see him do, you know, dick jokes 98. And I'll be the first to admit, in 1998, I was in grade 8, grade 9, whatever. I was that kid running around telling everybody to suck it. I was a DX guy. I loved it. But, you know, I'm 37 years old now. I go back and watch this stuff, and it just doesn't hold up. But I can say that about a lot of the Attitude Era in general. The Attitude Era, I think, is one of the most overrated periods in professional wrestling history. There's a lot of shit in there.
Yeah, I don't blame you for saying that. Everything that I've seen of the Attitude Era so far is definitely not up to par with the credit that it gets.
Yeah, I agree with that. And, you know, this was just bad. And thank God we're about a week away from this whole feud doing a complete 180 here, because now I think we're starting to go down a little bit. You know, The Rock's been fantastic. Stephanie's been pretty good. Triple H has been very hit and miss so far. And we're at a 3-on-1 handicap match now. And basically Mick Foley is going to come out and save the day here, because he's not part of the company, so he can't be fired. That was the stipulation, right? He's already been fired. Huge pop as he lays everyone out with the chair, and Rock gets the win and keeps his job. And of course, Jim Ross loses his mind.
Come on. A Road Dogg grabbing another steel folding chair. It's Mick Foley! What's he doing here? He's fired! Mick Foley! Foley's got the chair! Yeah, Triple H! Oh! He just nailed Triple H! He came out of the stands! What's he? Mick Foley! He's going! He came back to the crowd! Stephanie, do something!
Yeah, I love, again, Jim Ross. Man, that guy just sells everything. He makes everything better than what it is.
So, like, I actually had a question for the professor. You know, I think a lot of the criticism when it comes to Jim Ross and AEW nowadays is that he's not, you know, the, by God, that son of a bitch, you know, like going over the top with it. Do you think that type of JR works in wrestling nowadays?
I think it only works if he believes in what he's saying.
Sure.
Now, I think the reason you're not seeing that Jim Ross in AEW is because I don't think that there's a character or a gimmick that he is attached to. You know, if you look at these characters here, Stone Cold Steve Austin is always the guy that, you know, Stone Cold. Well, him and Jim Ross have been friends forever. He has a personal connection to Steve. Mick Foley, another one. Jim Ross fought for years and years and years to get Mick Foley into that company. When you have a guy like The Rock on your screen every week, you can't help but get like that either. You know what I mean? Right. So maybe it's just Jim Ross hasn't connected to anybody to get behind them like that.
That's a great point. I never even thought about that. Like, the only one that I could really see is when he goes like, Sammy for Sammy Guevara. But I mean, like, I think that's just trying to relate to that nostalgia group that want to see JR go over the top. Like you said, I don't think there's really anyone he's connected with, but at the same time, I don't really see that as a problem. You know, I don't think that over the top Jim Ross all the time is something that would work in 2022. Happy New Year, by the way, to our fans. This is our first episode of the new year. But you know, I think there's a time and a place for it. And until he's able to connect with someone in AEW, like he's able to connect with Austin and Mankind, I don't really think it's needed. But at the same time, I don't think it's taking away from him.
No, I don't think so either. And Jim Ross is different now because, you know, that was 20 years ago this happened. 22 years ago now that this match happened. Jim Ross doesn't need to be yelling and screaming. The product is different also. And I don't know if Jim Ross likes the direction that the product's gone, because you hear him on commentary sometimes. You can tell he's just had enough of the flips and the here comes Nick Gage with a plate of glass. Oh, this is like you can verbally hear him be pissed off while watching some of this stuff, which is great. Like, I like it. It's like we're not at Jim Ross yells at cloud level yet, but he's not far away from it either, right?
Oh man.
Go ahead.
No, I was ready to move on to the next segment.
That's where I'm going to. We have fake Mankind meeting the real Mankind. Midian again doing his stuff here. Just, whatever. The only thing I really took away from this is that Michael Cole was really pushing this new aggressive side of Mankind as he beat up fake Mankind here.
Right. Yeah. I here's the thing about this fake Mankind. And like, I understand when he's with Triple H and when he's with DX, that it really works, and he's making fun of Mankind and everything. But when he's on his own and he's doing like the the Woody Woodpecker in the Universal Studios or whatever, I can't get behind it. I think it was so just not boring, but just like bland. Like
there was too much of fake Mankind.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? They could have used him for Have a Bad Day, and they could have used him for the segment that we'll talk about in a little bit coming up, the SmackDown segment with Foley and Triple H, and that is pretty much all they needed him for. I think they kind of dragged it out a little bit. I agree with that.
But I will say, when they go toe to toe and Mankind or Mick Foley, Cactus Jack, whatever, when he just lays in on fake Mankind, it really just makes it all worth it. And you'll especially hear it when you hear this.
Folks, a few moments ago, it was a shocker at Universal Studios here in Orlando. The real Mick Foley running into his imposter. That fake Mankind who's been poking fun at Mick Foley over the past few days since Mankind was fired at the hands of Triple H and Stephanie. And this was a more vicious Mick Foley. Real frustration setting in at the fact that he was fired a few weeks ago by the McMahon-Helmsley era. He was vicious. Perhaps Triple H and Stephanie may have finally set Mick Foley over the edge.
Just a vicious Mick Foley here. I really like that. It was a great payoff to all the BS of fake Mankind.
Yeah, and it's pretty crazy too. And it's such like a tip of the cap to Mankind here, Mick Foley, about how he can turn himself back to this vicious side.
Yep.
Because he's been so jokey and fun for months and months. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh, damn, like, look at this guy go.
Absolutely.
And of course, it's going to bring us to the next segment here. The Rock and the roster have had enough. And we have a mutiny on hand here. The entire roster is surrounded the ring. The Rock is their spokesperson. They're tired of the McMahon-Helmsley era. And, I didn't send you all the clips every week, but they really have been abusing their power, putting people in handicap matches, really being mean to the faces. Triple H especially has been picking on Kurt Angle. And little seeds that are planted for the future here, because Stephanie likes Kurt Angle, and that bothers Triple H. So he's trying to make Kurt Angle lose his undefeated streak every week by putting him in these weird matches. And Stephanie keeps sending Steve Blackman out to save Kurt Angle's undefeated streak. So little details like that, right?
Yeah.
The Rock, the man DX come out, Triple H and Steph come out because the rest of the DX is like, whoa, you got to go fix this. They kind of
I love
sandbag him here. They have their demands. They want Mick Foley to be reinstated. They want no more "you're fired" matches. You get the entire crowd chanting "slut" at Stephanie McMahon. How did you feel hearing that?
I think even the best part of that is, or the most craziest part, is that The Rock calls it out too.
Yeah.
Just really just drives in this whole Attitude Era. I thought that
very
was
different times for sure.
For sure.
Foley finally comes out. He's going to set up the match at the Royal Rumble. The Rock decides that this is the time that he's going to announce that he's going to enter the Royal Rumble match. And something I thought was really weird is that he's being the spokesperson for the entire roster, which are surrounding the ring at this point. And then he says that he's going to throw all of the jabronis over the top rope. You're like on their side right now, though. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I thought that was a little bit weird that The Rock would be like, rah, the roster, I'm on your side. You bunch of jabronis. Like, I thought the timing of that was a little bit weird. What did you think about this segment?
I honestly love this segment. I thought this was one of my favorites of the entire feud. Just because it's like just the little things. Obviously, The Rock is stupendous. Just everything that he says, even saying that he's going to take all the wrestlers and start up the World Rock Federation, the WRF. I thought that was so great. Just everything that The Rock did in this feud was just perfect. And you'll even hear it here where he really wants Mankind to come back to the roster and get reinstated. And Triple H just has to go along with it, or else everyone walks.
If you do not meet our demands, we've got every single WWF superstar ready to walk out on your candy asses.
Man, wait a minute. What? Walk out?
And every single WWF superstar ready to join a new federation, the WRF, the World Rock Federation.
What?
You will reinstate Mick Foley now.
Wait a minute. Reinstate Mick Foley. And they mean right now. What?
All right, Rock. You want Foley reinstated? As of right now, Mick Foley is back in the World Wrestling Federation.
All right. All right.
I like the part too. Shortly after they reinstate him there, when Triple H like, we were planning on doing that anyways.
Oh yeah. And then JR's like, yeah, right.
And then that sets up the, as this promo carries on, they make their own matches where Mick Foley says we're going to see the New Age Outlaws fight each other tonight, and Triple H is going to fight X-Pac. And then they set up a 8-man tag for the main event with DX against the Rock and Saw Connection and the APA, which is where we're going to go now. We picked this match up with DX leaving Triple H out high and dry. They've had enough of him, and Foley lays into him, gets his hands on Steph, and then things start to get pretty crazy here. Once Hunter is done checking on Steph, you kind of see him switch a gear a little bit here, and he gets really aggressive, hammers Foley with a huge belt shot, a friggin' pedigree through the table. Unbelievable. Inside the ring, we got a second pedigree, and I got a run in from my cat here. And the post-match, we got a bloody Mick Foley just beating Triple H's ass as the show goes off the air. We got a great shot of a maskless Mick Foley staring down Triple H. And my God, I know I've said this 1,000 times, but can anybody sell a match better than Jim Ross?
Oh my gosh, he is incredible. Everyone really in this segment was incredible. I really like how you get a lot of Triple H and Foley action here, because normally before the pay-per-view, they'll keep them separate. Sure, it's fine, but everyone just wants to see them go at each other. So I like how this was a different vibe, that really Foley just wants to get at Triple H. So they're going to fight. Stiff announce table bumps here. I really see the contrast in the fact that, when someone goes through an announce table nowadays, it just collapses. Everything stays intact. Here, he takes the pedigree, it folds in. I thought that was just really cool, really different. So at first, I wasn't a fan of Foley losing here, because I thought it's right before the pay-per-view. Like, why would you make him lose? There's no point in caring in the match now. But that was Mankind. Obviously, we'll see a switch in a few moments. It's not Triple H versus Mankind at the end of the day at the Rumble. But even with that out of the way, like, they saved it with this post-match beatdown. Foley really just goes all out. He's bleeding. He's got the blood on his shirt. The final shot with him just staring at Triple H. Everything works really well here.
Now, I know we've been a little harsh on Triple H during this, and I want to put him over right now. I don't think that there's a better performer in switching gears of being a chicken shit heel and a badass ass kicker than Triple H. Because, you see Triple H flip that switch. You put your hands on my wife. He beat the hell out of Foley, laid him out, got the win. But then Foley comes back and Triple H ends up running away scared by the end of it. I thought Hunter was fantastic in this segment. I thought he did a good job of putting him over as being a real deal in the ring too, because the champion still needs to win. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care if you're a heel. You still need to. You're the world champion for a reason. You need to prove that you can. And Triple H did that here. I thought this was fantastically done by both guys. Yeah, amazing stuff. You don't really see a lot of Triple H here where he's presented in this light. You see a lot of goofy Triple H, chicken shit heel. But here is where you really see Triple H take it into that another level. And we're definitely going to see that when we go along here with this feud. But I think this was really the point where I kind of brightened my opinion on Triple H here. I was really negative on him, but this was the point where I said, all right, now I'm starting to see the game, I guess. And this next part we're going to talk about here is, I think personally, some of the best work that Triple H has ever done in his entire career, this next segment. And we're going to take you back to SmackDown here. And Mankind is not ready for Triple H. I love that they bring the fake Mankind out here. This was a great spot for him. And I
Yeah.
just love how Jerry Lawler's just like, this is the real Mankind. Like, it's so funny. Like, he's not even batting an eye. You finally get the real Mankind coming out. I thought he had a great touch that he was wearing the bloody shirt from Raw still.
Yes.
I really like that because it's back in the day where Raw was on Monday Live and they would film SmackDown on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
So it wasn't too hard to keep the shirt there for a 24-hour
true.
period. Mick Foley. Have we mentioned he's a great storyteller before?
Yeah, we probably have once or twice.
He's painting this picture, basically just saying that Mankind is not ready to fight Triple H in a street fight at Madison Square Garden. And Triple H hears this, and he's just that smirk that comes over his face. And it wasn't like over the top. It was just like a smirk, like, you're damn right, because I'm in the game, right? And, you know, and then he's like, but we need to give the fans a substitution. And as he starts saying this, taking the mask off, unbuttoning the shirt, huge pop as Cactus Jack is back.
But I think the WWF fans deserve a substitute in that match.
Substitute? Is Chicken and out?
What I'm going to do, Triple H, is I'm going to name him right now. As a matter of fact, I think you know the guy.
Uh-oh. Oh, no. No.
And I think you know him pretty damn well. His name is Cactus Jack.
What made this segment, though, wasn't just, you know, anyone can take off their shirt and be like, I'm Cactus Jack. I'm Mankind. Here's my mask. Triple H's facial expression to seeing Cactus Jack return made Cactus Jack look like a psychopath, serial killing, you know, like the fear that came over his face. Because if Triple H would have just no-sold it, this segment would have been nothing.
Right, exactly. I think just the little details of Triple H's reactions, thinking he got the upper hand on Mick Foley, but then realizing that Cactus Jack is back, and just all that history between the two. I think Triple H, you know, we talk about how Cactus Jack, Mick Foley is usually the one to put over the younger talent. We saw it with Randy Orton. Here, I think Triple H puts over Cactus Jack superb. You know, I just the little things. You know, I always mention the little things in the feud make it go that much higher, you know, in praise that I have. And this is just a tiny, you know, literally all he does is just, you know, he has a shocked expression on his face, but that's the point, is that Cactus Jack is not Mankind. It's not Mick Foley. It's something that Triple H has encountered before, but now he's going to have to face that with all the history, not just, you know, from 97, but the recent history that they've had of, you know, firing Mick Foley and everything. That just adds another layer to this feud. And I really love this segment. I think we're really starting to see Triple H in a new vein here. And it made me really excited for the remainder of this feud and eventually the match.
I will say this is one of my favorite segments in WWF history.
Totally. I can see why.
It's fantastic. This next segment, though, another home run here.
Yep.
We got a Cactus Jack promo. It is just such, I want to just like, Mick Foley, let me tip my cap to you one more time. I'm going to put you over. Just how different he makes all these characters. You know, Mick Foley comes out. He's fun loving, Mankind, deranged, whatever, dude love, I'll have mercy. And just like the psychopathicness, like Charles Manson-esque that he brings out in Cactus Jack, just like how he differentiates all the characters is so talented. This promo, I've got to say, it's got me pumped up for this match now. Man, Cactus Jack cuts a fantastic promo, and then Triple H comes out. When I heard his music, I was like, oh, yeah, I'm not excited for this, because he's got his work cut out for him now, because Cactus really did a great promo here. And Triple H hit a home run here, I thought. I thought he went toe-to-toe with him. He had me believing that he was going to get just as crazy as Cactus Jack at the Royal Rumble. After this promo, I just put in my notes, fuck, I'm ready for this match. We get such a great brawl to end the segment too, with DX, The Rock, The Big Show, the APA. They get 3 matches over in one segment leading into the Royal Rumble here. with the street fight, the tag title match with the APA and the New Age Outlaws, and the Royal Rumble match.
Right.
I thought this was a home run on all cylinders.
Triple H in Madison Square Garden at the Royal Rumble. I am not going to pretend that I'm the man I used to be. I'm going to be just a little bit better. And I don't regret a single night in the $10 motels. I do not regret a single freezing night in the back of a '78 Ford Fairmont. I do not regret my wounds sticking to the sheets. I do not regret the ear that was cut off from my head and thrown out in the garbage can. Because it's all those things, Triple H, that made me what I am. And what I am is one bad son of a...
Oof.
Yeah, and he takes his promos from places of truth, though. You know, all that stuff actually happened, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, that's just what makes him so great, is that he's had all this experience already. He's able to incorporate that into any feud, be it with Triple H in 2000 to be it with Randy Orton in 2004. You know, he's able to take whatever he's had, whatever experiences, whatever feuds, whatever matches, whatever injuries he's had, and incorporate it into that feud. And I've said it once and I'll say it a million times. The three faces of Foley is not just Mankind, Cactus Jack, and Dude Love. It's more than that. It's, you know, your happy Foley, your sadistic Foley, your scared Foley, whatever it may be. There's more faces to Foley. And I think that's just what makes him one of the greatest entertainers in wrestling, period. He's able to match a crowd's energy, make them feel a certain way. He's just superb. And I want to talk a little bit about Triple H in that he does a really good job here. I think he rambles a little bit too much. But I'm starting to see that, like, you know, you mentioned how Austin was away for a while. There's trying to find that new guy. Rock is definitely up on that top tier, and I guess they're looking for the next heel, and that's got to be Triple H. But it also feels like the company itself is trying to mold Triple H in a way that presents himself as a star. But I don't know if with his heel promo work, if that's really connecting. And I kind of compare it to, and I know this is a weird comparison, but the promo that Karrion Kross and Adam Cole had in NXT before both of them left, funny enough, you know, when Adam Cole is telling him, you know, you get the lights, you get your girl, you get the entrance, and then, you know, that's all you are, the smoke and mirrors. I would have liked to have seen, I don't know if we'll ever encounter this, but a promo within that light. That how, you know, you get Triple H paired with Stephanie, and you get all the, I love his entrance with the lights and the great music, and, you know, he's presented like such a badass, but, you know, he gets on the mic and he's not really that badass, you know what I mean? So I think it's just very interesting how you see, even in the early 2000s now, that WWE is doing everything they can to kind of mold him into a star. But in actuality, maybe it's not connecting as much as it should be. I don't know. That's just my opinion on that.
I think there's two things that work against Triple H in this era. Number one, it's his lack of getting away from the awful fart dick jokes.
Yes.
And number two, you're in a time period where you've got The Rock and Steve Austin. Nobody's going to get over those guys. It's not possible. You know what I mean? You put Triple H in, let's say, the new generation era as the top heel, I think it's a different story. You know what I mean? You take this Triple H and put him in 1995 with Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels and Diesel. I think it's a totally different story. And I think maybe we would look at Triple H, you know, and you get rid of the dick jokes, obviously, right? You know, you have, when he's doing these serious promos, you know, the difference between you and I is that you feel remorse when you do stuff and I thrive on it. Like, that's great stuff. And and his next promo here, the final promo, the go home show here, I thought he did another great promo here. We'll move into that here. He's getting personal on Foley's family, talking about how his kids were crying at the Rumble last year because they know his dad's a loser, how his wife doesn't even like him. He warns them not to bring his family this year because every tear that they cry, he's going to love. Like, that's a great line. That's a great promo. Mick Foley comes out and says that he's not going to let his kids watch a promo because he doesn't want them to see how violent their dad is going to be, which I thought was a great rebut to that.
Yeah.
He says, but his kids are watching now. Doesn't want them to feel shortchanged. He wants to give them a little preview, and we get a great brawl here. I like that they're brawling here. Sometimes it makes sense to have guys fight a lot before a match. Sometimes
this is a blood feud. Of course you got to let them fight, you know?
And I thought this was great. And they promised a lot of violence, and the bar is really set going into this match.
I love family man Mick Foley. It's just a great layer to his character that everything he does for his family. I compare it to really, I do a lot of modern comparisons because obviously that's what I'm used to. But, Kevin Owens, sure, you can compare him however you want. But I feel like Vince sees a lot of Mick Foley in Kevin Owens. And that's why he made sure to re-sign him to a hefty contract recently. Even when it comes to little things like this, like doing whatever he could do for his family. And he talks about his family all the time in his promos. I think that's something that he sees in Kevin Owens is a lot of what I'm seeing in Mick Foley right now. I think that's just a really great layer to it. And all of these promos, man, I'm really looking forward to this match. Triple H is really selling me on this match. Mick Foley has been selling me on this match. And God, really good stuff here.
So the one thing I take away from this is that this feud, I think, peaked at the perfect time.
Yep.
It didn't drag. It was paced amazing. 1 week longer or 1 week shorter, I think, would have been terrible. This was perfect. I am so ready to get to this match. Are you ready to talk about this match?
No further questions. Let's get to the Royal Rumble.
Live from New York's Madison Square Garden, the WWF Royal Rumble.
And that is going to take us to January 23rd, the year 2000. As our good friend Bret Hart says, it's not a church, but it's holy ground. We are inside Madison Square Garden. It is a no-holds-barred street fight for the WWF World Heavyweight Championship. Your champion, Triple H, the Game, defending against Cactus Jack. Mr. Cerulli, the classroom is yours.
All righty, class. So, right off the bat, always got to mention it. Video package sets the feud, sets the match, sets the pace. Superb. Replaying the story, hitting on all the great moments. The weird classical music really just adds a great dynamic to this. I was ready. I could have just watched the promo package alone and I'd be ready for this match. But seeing the whole feud in its entirety, I was definitely ready to see everything. Triple H has a killer entrance. I just got to, mention it. The lights.
How great was his old music, too?
It was, oh my God, I love his old music. That's the one thing I will say about Triple H is that I don't think he has had a bad entrance theme besides like the Hunter Hearst Helmsley stuff. I like it. I like it. I love that. Even like Evolution and everything, great stuff. Okay, so then we get into the match, because it was a very basic entrance for Cactus Jack. Everything was great. So you just get some great spots here, like the Foley leg drop as Triple H is getting into the ring. I thought that was really just fun stuff here. I actually have a question for the professor. Commentary. Who's sitting next to Jerry Lawler? Because he has a headset on. It's JR, Jim Ross, Jerry Lawler, and someone else. I don't know.
I think it must have just been like a stagehand. It might have been like Mark Eden or something like that. Like there was no 3-man booth. Only JR and the King were doing the call for all of these shows. Could have been the Spanish announce team. They were right beside them as well.
Yeah, well, I had the Spanish announce table. I saw the JR and Jerry Lawler, and then I saw someone else. I don't know. I'd have to look back and maybe
it might have just been like one of the timekeepers or something like that.
I thought it was just weird because he had a headset on, so I was like, is he just a new guy here or whatever? But I didn't hear anyone else. So, I mean, as is the case with every hardcore match that we've done, the weapon shots are just so deadly. The chair shots. Obviously, the barbed wire 2x4 is going to get involved here. And I really think that Triple H is the one to really get in the most of these shots, especially with the barbed wire. Like, he really gets nailed with this barbed wire multiple times. So I thought that was really just adds so much to the match. Even like there was a leg drop on the steel chair, which I thought was really gnarly. I love the use of the entranceway props too. The wooden planks, even like there was some like bricks onto the side of the entranceway. Just some really fun stuff. When you have such an elaborate entranceway like that, you need to use.
I miss those.
Yeah, exactly. Like even Madison Square Garden, I think that's such a great, such a small entranceway, but like so iconic.
Now, you mentioned that wooden plank there. Now, did you happen to see or pick up on Triple H's injury from this match?
Yes, the leg, right?
In the calf, yeah. So he took a suplex on the wooden plank, and he got punctured and stabbed in the leg by a piece of sharded wood.
I had that in my notes. I was like, fuck, that definitely hurt.
There's a DVD extra. This was actually the first wrestling DVD I ever bought, by the way, Royal Rumble 2000.
Oh, really?
It cost a fortune back in the day for a DVD, but it was worth it. But there's a special feature, and I tried to find it so hard, of the post-match of Triple H backstage getting that wound stitched up, and go tell my parents I'm okay. And it was that was a sick gash on his leg.
Yeah, I wrote that in my notes. I was like, sheesh, that was definitely a gash. Question for the professor. Were they chanting boring at one point? Or was it Foley?
I think they were chanting boring because they were in the entrance area and half the arena couldn't see them.
Sure. That's what I was thinking. Because I know Jerry kind of covers it. He's like, oh, they're chanting Foley. But I was like, I've never heard them chant Foley before.
Yeah, no, it was a boring chant.
But a good catch by Jerry Lawler there. I love the line by JR. He's got large pieces of his epidermis on the barbed wire. Great line. That's around the time when he starts using the barbed wire. And that is really when they flip the switch. There were some points where I thought that it stalled a little bit, but once they bring in like the majority of the weapons and they start using them to the fullest potential, I thought it was really great stuff. Shout out to the Spanish announce team, by the way, Carlos Cabrera and Hugo Savinovich, who get a lot of action on this one.
They always do, man.
Always do. And I love it. Again, stiff announce table spots. The table literally caves in. I thought it was great stuff. There was a point in the match where I thought was the best sequence of the entire match. We get a bulldog onto the barbed wire from Cactus to Triple H. Cactus then clotheslines him over the ropes. And then we get a spot where Triple H drives Cactus into the steel steps and he goes legs first. And it just looked so nasty.
That's a classic Foley spot.
Yeah, it looked great. Actually, it wasn't driving him in. I think he did like a back body drop or something onto him and he landed legs first. Just so good.
It's nasty stuff, man.
I grouped those like 3 notes together and I put a little heart next to them because I was like, I love that. You know me, I love when a wrestler works a certain body part, and we get Triple H working the leg here in the later stages of the match. So that definitely helped out the rating a lot. I love that he breaks the chair over his back too. I think that's a great little nod there. Honestly, I never knew that The Rock was involved in this match. I knew that he was going to be involved in the feud, sure, but I didn't know that he was going to get involved in this match. So I thought that was a really cool little tidbit too.
They did the throwback to the Rumble 99, right?
Right, with the handcuffs.
Yeah. That's a match that we'll have to go over one day too. I don't know if you've ever seen that one, but my God, it's the most violent match I've ever seen. It makes this match look like a scientific battle between Bret Hart and Steve Austin.
Really? Oh, shit. Yeah. I love the finish too. There are so many false finishes here. Like I knew what the finish was going to be, but it still makes you think like, was I watching the wrong match all along? Is this really the finish? Stephanie gets involved. A lot of action here. Stiff pile driver on the table. Just a lot of fun. Just matches really just fun. And, right from the jump, I love when the match just gets right into it. No slow builds. A la Hell in a Cell.
Careful.
I'm going to keep mentioning it because I'm going to stand my ground, Professor. But yeah, there were certain points, like I said, it stalls a little bit. It's a little slow, but you get action really every point in this match, and it was a pretty long match. It went damn near 30 minutes, and God, like, and of course, there was even the false finish after the thumbtacks, the Triple H pedigree off the thumbtacks, which I thought was going to be it. Then he gives him the pedigree on the thumbtacks, and that was it.
What a crazy finish.
I know. That really got me. I love this match a lot. Of course, I mean, whenever there's a hardcore match or a weapons match, it's always going to get a high grade from me. But nevertheless, like, they used all the weapons in the best possible way. The entrance way, I think there were certain points where they go to the entrance ramp that them chanting boring, I can understand, because I wasn't really into it. It stalled for certain points, but then they get right back into it when they're around, the either outside the ring or when they're in the ring. Everything is great. Even them fighting in the crowd, I thought was a fun visual. All in all, this was a really fun match. I keep saying fun, but there's no other way to really put it. So if I could give my ratings, I mean, I'll start off with the build because I didn't give that before. I'm going to give this build a solid B.
Okay.
I'm going to give this a B. I thought the latter half, the second half, I should say, of the feud with Mick Foley going in, turning into Cactus Jack, Triple H kind of coming into his own on the promo, and of course The Rock was great. I thought that really carries the rating. All the goofy DX BS just really wasn't for me. Fake Mankind overstayed his welcome. So overall, I have to give it I got to give it a B. But when it comes to the match itself, I'm going to give it an A. Solid A here. I was toying with the idea of either A- or A+, but I think A right in the middle, just because, like I said, there were a few moments where it kind of slowed down and it was awkward. Of course, the crowd chanting kind of took me out because, like, if the crowd's not invested, I won't be as invested. But like every other point except for that part where they were just at the entranceway, and even that was great stuff, but every other part was just superb. And I know that you will say it, so I will say it as well. This match made Triple H. I don't know if there was another one, but just in the same light as Cactus Jack made Randy Orton, Cactus Jack made Triple H here, maybe even more so. I don't know. I was going to ask you that question to the professor. Who do you think was made more in their match? Was it Triple H or was it Randy Orton?
I think this match gave Triple H credibility as a main eventer.
Yep.
And that was Mick Foley's goal. He said to me, I need to make people believe in Triple H. And he accomplished that. I think Triple H got more out of it than Orton did.
I have to agree.
Because Orton was already surrounded by Flair, and like Orton was getting pushed no matter what.
Yeah.
Triple H was on his own here, fending up against The Rock. You know what I mean? Like, he needed, and this made Triple H, just made me believe that he could beat The Rock.
Exactly. Good point.
He bled buckets here, I thought.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this was a great match. I'm going a little different than you. I'm giving my build an A.
Okay. Fair.
I agree with you. Fake Mankind overstayed his welcome.
Yeah.
The have a bad day. The have a bad day is why this is not an A+ for me.
Okay.
Because it's so bad. But the promo work from Foley, the Cactus Jack reveal, Triple H stepping up at the end and delivering, and then The Rock in the first half carrying it. It's an A for me all the way. The match, I'm giving an A as well. Unbelievable match by two of the greatest, And I know we'd say Triple H isn't the greatest of all time, but in the ring, it's tough for anybody to lace his boots. And he stepped up into a match that was out of his element. He fought Cactus Jack style. He excelled. He won. He came up better. This is how you make a superstar. A for me all around.
For sure. Yeah, I was surprised that Triple H was the one that bled the most here. I figured Cactus Jack was going to get a little blood. Yeah. All he did was blood in the mouth. And I'm sure the stomach when he hits him with the barbed wire, but he's wearing the shirt, so who knows. But yeah, Triple H was just gushing in this match. Loved all the interference with The Rock and Stephanie. I thought that worked really well. I even loved the little detail, which I forgot to mention, that Triple H in his entrance hands the handcuffs to Howard Finkel. And I didn't catch that at first.
Oh, I never noticed that.
Because he's talking to Fink in the beginning. And then he goes over to him and he tells him to give him something. And then it's the handcuffs in the little bag. I was surprised that I caught that. But I thought that was a really great detail. Just adds all the stuff all together. But
the part that I found funny in the match was the barbed wire board and how it's very clearly two different barbed wires. Did you pick up on that?
No, I didn't. Wow.
So the one that Triple H is hitting Mankind with, I think, was shoot barbed wire. because like as he's hitting him with it, the top part of it, the barbed wire kind of extends out a little bit, like almost comes off the board.
Right.
And then they put it under the Spanish announce table or whatever. And then when Mankind goes and gets it, the barbed wire is magically tight and like a different color kind of. And
I didn't even realize that. Wow.
I got a kick out of that. That's just me being nitpicky though.
Yeah, but all around great match. I think it deserves the A rating. Little things that I would change, but overall, this was a phenomenal way to put Triple H over, and at the same time, really puts Cactus Jack in a great light. So, got to give it an A.
And I need to put somebody over now with the honor roll.
Hit the music. Here we go. Who is it?
Okay. I had this narrowed down between a couple people. So we're
Okay.
going to give a couple honorable mentions. One to The Rock. He was
Of
fantastic. I'm torn between two people here.
Ooh.
I'm torn between two. Now, I could go the easy way, but I like to put a little bit of fun twists on the honor roll.
Oh, all right. Here we go.
So I'm going to go with the fun twist. Now,
Okay.
the winner of the honor roll should be Jim Ross. I think
Sure.
that he's the hands down obvious choice, but I'm not that guy. So my honor roll is going to be Triple H's facial expression on the reveal of Cactus Jack. As my honor roll.
The honor roll is back, ladies and gentlemen, changing it on the fly as per usual. I love it. I mean, as much as we joke around, that was the turning point in the feud. It made Triple H look great, sold Cactus Jack, really made you excited for the feud. I got to give it to you. This was a really good honor roll this week.
And I just don't want people to think that we hate Triple H. We don't hate him. We just want him to be better.
I introduced something in the latter half of the Classic Match Classroom Semester 1, and I know that you were surprised when I did not mention his name in a segment which I like to call the Graduating Class, which is basically our Hall of Fame. And I figured, this is the first episode. I know I won't do this every episode, definitely will not be doing this every episode, but, we took some time off, our winter break, if you will, and we're back. We got to start off with a bang. So, with that being said, I will finally give him his flowers, especially in this match, as we kick off the graduating class of 2022. Mick Foley is your first inductee. It's only right. I was waiting until one more great feud with him, and we've seen multiple great feuds when he was involved. And, everything from Randy Orton to Triple H, he was even involved in The Undertaker and Kane. Everything in between. He deserves, he has earned multiple-time honor roll inductee as well. Mick Foley is just becoming the MVP of the Classic Match Classroom. Hopefully he's listening to this, but at the end of the I'm sure he is. At the end of the day, I got to give him his flowers. Mick Foley, you are the first inductee into the graduating class of 2022.
I love it. It's the right move.
It's the right move. It was the first episode. I got to do something,
We're off to a hot start. It's Royal Rumble season, and next week we're going to keep the Royal Rumble season going.
Yes.
A little bit of a deep cut next week we're going to go with here. We were hard on DX last year. We were really hard on them.
Very true.
So we started this year talking about Triple H and Cactus Jack.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give his counterpart another chance next week. We're going to talk a little Shawn Michaels again next week. We're going to take us back to the Royal Rumble 1993 Intercontinental Championship match. Shawn Michaels versus Marty Jannetty.
Oof. What a cut. I know a lot of people hear the name Marty Jannetty and nowadays and think, oh boy, why are we doing this one? But, you're going to be surprised. I feel like I'll be surprised a lot as well. This is where it all happens. The barber shop, a lot of great segments here. I'm looking forward to next week, Professor.
Well, I don't have anything more to say this week. Do you have anything more to say?
Of course I have more to say, because you can find the Classic Match Classroom anywhere where you can find your podcast. We are back, and we are better than ever. We hope that you join in on the Classroom, because registration is always open year-round. You can follow us at Classic Match Classroom on Instagram, as well as CM Classroom on Twitter, not to be confused with CM Punk. We are everywhere where podcasts can be found: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, even on YouTube, where you can see our beautiful faces. And I hope that you join us for this amazing semester. We have so much going on, so many great matches to watch, and I think there's only one thing left to say, Professor.
Class has been dismissed.